NLC begins two-day warning strike over effects of subsidy removal. Troops kill 6 kidnappers, arrest gun runners in Plateau, Bauchi and Kaduna states. Fire raises church auditorium, 3 offices in Ilorin. And away from Nigeria, 14 people and a body found on Greek island after boat tragedy. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust TV News. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for joining. The Nigerian Labour Congress has embarked on a 2-day warning strike in protest against the federal government's failure to address the challenges caused by the removal of fuel subsidy. This comes days after the declaration by NLC President Joe Ajaero. The Labour Union is accusing the federal government of abandoning the negotiations and failing to implement some of the resolutions from previous meetings with the government. In the same vein, aviation unions have opted out of strike due to an ongoing Universal Safety Oversight Audit Program. The Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, affiliated to Trade Union Congress, has also refused to join the strike. The Director General, Civil Aviation, Captain Musa Nuhu, has admonished all industry workers to stay off the 2-day warning strike by the Nigerian Labour Congress to sustain the ongoing International Safety Oversight Audit in the country. Nuhu, in a memo to all aviation workers, directed them to report at their duty post. He stated that failure to comply with this directive will be taken as sabotage of the International Civil Aviation Organization audit. Now, Noah Samson is our reporter who monitored the strike at the Federal Secretariat, and he joins us now in the studio for an update. Thank you so much for joining us, Noah.
The pleasure is mine.
All right. Well, talk to us about what you saw out there at the Secretariat axis of the FCT.
Yeah, as of 9 o'clock when I got to Secretariat today, we can see few cars and few individuals walking to the office. It was as if nothing was actually happening, but people were not much going to their different offices. You can see the bank that the Secretariat, which is the Access and Zenith Bank, opened. And what the most surprising is that when we spoke to some of these civil servants who decided not to speak to camera, said that they are not aware of the strike. Like 80% of them say they are not aware of the strike, and we are surprised that the NLC on the 1st of September declared that they were going to do a 2-day warning strike. Are not aware. And from information we gather is that from level 6 upward are the ones coming to the office, while from level 6 downward are the ones not even coming to the office. So can we say that those at the lower level are the ones complying with the NLC strike, or what's the reason? Yeah, it seems they say the TUC actually withdrew themselves from the strike because they had their meeting yesterday with the federal government where both the Labour and the NLC and the TUC had a meeting with the Minister of Labour yesterday, and they withdrew themselves from the strike, given 2 weeks ultimatum to the federal government to handle some of the issues. So it seems that those from the down part of the cadre in the Federal Civil Service are the ones complying to the strike, while those from level 6 upward are the ones actually not even complying to the strike at all.
Okay, was there any form of monitoring or enforcement of the strike by the Labour Union?
No, as of when I was still at the Secretariat, there was nobody, no Labour Union members you can see at the Secretariat. And when we even tried to get in contact with the spokesperson of the Nigerian Labour Congress, his number wasn't picking up his phone call. So everything was going as usual. But the thing you have that there are no cars parked as much as you expect as of that time in the morning, because when you go to the Secretariat in the morning as of that time by 9 o'clock, you see enough cars parked. Although you still have cars parked, but not as choked the way you expect it to be choked, and not as the people trooping into the various ministries, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Sports, Ministry of Health, are not as much as when you expect them to be a normal day.
All right, thank you so much, Noel Samson, for the update.
Yeah, thank you.
Now let's head to the southwestern part of the country where we have Abdul Lateef Aliyu, Daily Trust Aviation correspondent, who is in Lagos, who joins us via phone for an update. Thank you so much for joining us on the news update, Abdul Lateef. Hello, Abdul Lateef. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us on the news update.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon.
Yeah. Can you tell us what the situation is at the airport this morning?
Oh, the situation at the airport is not different from the situation in the state, in Lagos generally, because the strike is not being observed by a lot of organizations and offices and so on. And talking specifically about the airport, the aviation unions have made it categorically clear that they are not going to be part of the strike. And the flight operations are ongoing. Normally, there is no issue at all. People are going about their normal businesses and so on.
Okay,
and what the union said specifically was that there is an ongoing audit of the industry that is going on by the International Civil Aviation Organization. They call it ICAO Safety Oversight Audit, which is ongoing at the moment. So they say because of that, they will not be part of the strike.
Do you think that perhaps some of the workers at the airport feel threatened, by maybe the head of the aviation? I mean, talking about...
No, there was no issue of threat. No, I don't think there was an issue of threat because we spoke with we have, first of all, we have various unions in the industry. We have the Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, which is affiliated to TUC, the Trade Union Congress. And the Trade Union Congress is not part of this strike. It is only being observed by the NLC. So AFTRAN has come out with a statement yesterday that said, since the TUC, their affiliate, their sister organization is actually not going on strike, they will not be part of that strike. And apart from the AFTRAN, we also have ANAP, Association of Nigeria Aviation Professionals. They also came up with a statement. We spoke with the General Secretary of the association, Comrade Seidu Abarasak, who confirmed that, yes, they are aware of the strike. They are sympathetic with the NLC. But because of the current situation in the industry, the industry is currently undergoing an audit by ICAO. This is something that is done on every 3 years. And once they miss it this year, it will take another year. It will downgrade the rating of the industry. So they said because of this ongoing audit, they will not be part of the strike.
Okay,
that was what they said.
Okay, so let's get something clear here. These unions you talked about at the airport are affiliates of the TUC, correct?
No, only one that is affiliated to TUC, which is ATSAN, Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria. There is another one, NUATE, Nigerian Union of Air Transport Employees. That one is affiliated to NLC. There was no categorical statement from them, but from the look of things, from what is happening, all the agencies' offices are open, the flight operations are ongoing, and apart from NUATE, we also have the NAPE, National Association of Aircraft Pilots and Employees and Engineers. Those are the association for the pilots and engineers. They are also not observing the strike. And so on. So as far as the industry, the aviation industry is concerned, the strike is not being observed. Activities are ongoing at all the airports. People are going about their normal businesses. Passengers are coming in and out of the airport, and that's no issue of disruption at all.
Okay, and that's regardless of whichever of the unions you are affiliated to, whether you are affiliated to TUC or NLC.
Yeah, that's regardless of the union they are affiliated to. They are concerned about the ongoing audit because the team from International Civil Aviation Organization are currently about 3 teams that were sent to Nigeria to come and audit the aviation industry.
Okay, but what about the general situation in Lagos State as a whole? Hello? Hello? All right, it appears that we've lost Abdulateef there, and then let's move on to some other stories. To security matters, troops of Operation Safe Haven have killed 6 kidnappers and arrested gun runners at different operations in Plateau and some parts of Bauchi State. Now, the operation, which is saddled with the responsibility of maintaining peace in Plateau and some parts of Bauchi and southern Kaduna, also said that 54 suspected criminals were arrested in connection with various crimes. A statement by the media officer of the operation, Captain Oya James, said the troops also carried out a sting operation across Plateau and Kaduna states, during which 3 kidnappers were arrested. James added that a suspected bandit, Dauda Tahiru, was also arrested in connection with the last attack at Haipang village in Barikinladi local government area of Plateau State. Similarly, the troops had, following intelligence, tracked down and arrested a notorious gun runner, Da Nyam, and 1 other at Kwang Kafanchan communities of Jos South, Jamaa local government areas of Plateau and Kaduna State. During the operation, troops recovered 1 AK-47 rifle, 55 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammunition, 1 Daikon-graded AK-47 rifle, and 1 magazine. All arrested suspects are currently undergoing interrogation. The Plateau State Police Command Monday paraded 28 suspected criminals for committing various offenses, including a woman suspected to have stolen a 10-month-old baby in the state. The State Commissioner of Police, Okoro Julius, who paraded the suspect at the headquarters of the command in Jos, said efforts are being put in place to get rid of criminals in the state. Ado Musa reports.
The paraded suspect, who comprised kidnappers, armed robbers, and electricity vendors specializing in stealing armor wires of transformers in various communities, were arrested following intelligence on their activities in the state. While parading the suspect, the commissioner said the woman who stole a 10-month-old baby was also arrested, adding that the stolen baby was recovered from the suspect and handed to her mother.
Stole our flatmate's child and took the child to Lagos. Child stealing, the case of child stealing. I think it made some headlines as a result of the stealing of that child from that very compound. But today, through our tracking, we were able to get her arrested in Lagos and the child rescued. The child is also here.
The mother of the stolen baby speaks on how the baby was taken from her.
When she left, she asked me to finish sweeping so that I will hurry up and come and collect the baby. So before I finished sweeping, she now sent someone to bring her room key. After bringing the room key, I collected it. I said, okay, I now relaxed. Before I waited for almost 30 minutes, I didn't see her. So I decided to call her with her boyfriend's phone. She now said that she's coming.
But the suspect, Patience Solomon, denies stealing the baby, explaining that she went with the baby to Lagos out of love and not with any bad intention.
So when I was traveling, quite sure I take the baby and not tell the mother, and the baby is walking. So when I reach Lagos, then she now called me that where am I? I said I'm in Lagos. She now said that I should bring the child to the father of the child. I want to see the child. I say, but I see posting. People are saying that if I come back, they will kill me. And my friends are calling me that I should not come back, that anywhere I am, I should just sit there, because if I come back, they will kill me.
The commissioner, however, called on residents to assist the command with useful information regarding any form of crime in the state, assuring that he is ready to deal with whoever intends to disturb the peace in the state. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
A raging fire on Sunday evening burnt the auditorium and 3 offices of the Ward Assembly Church in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. The fire, which reportedly started in the evening after the Sunday church service, consumed the main auditorium and 3 of the 6 offices of the headquarters of the church located along Ijasha Ipo Road, Ilorin. It was gathered that the fire caused severe damage to the church property because of the late reporting of the incident to the State Fire Service and other security agencies in the state. The fire service put the total estimated property lost in the incident at 39.5 million naira, while the total estimated property saved was 74.3 million naira. The House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on the Disposal of Public Property is to investigate the Federal Ministry of Water Resources over the disposal of assets belonging to the 12 river basin development authorities in 2018. Managing directors of the river basin development authorities in the country who appeared before the committee on Monday said that the ministry was responsible for the sale of property in 2018 because of the agencies had no governing board. They maintained that the ministry was responsible for the advertisement and selection of auctioneers who were responsible for the auction of the properties, adding that what most of the questions about the auction can only be answered by the ministry. The chairman of the committee and House Leader Julius Iwobere said that the committee was not satisfied with the explanation from the managing directors, adding that the committee has no choice than to invite the ministry.
Let me list those that have ignored, refused to comply, or blatantly disregarded our invitation. Nigeria Ports Authority, Nigeria Maritime Authority and Safety Agency, Nigeria Railway Corporation, Nigeria Customs Service. Those ones are like Ogunsho River Basin, Anambra Imo River Basin. All right. Those ones have completely ignored our invitation, and we know precisely what to do as a house. I want to also use this to summon here the Ministry of Water Resources. Clerk will do a letter to them, since they were fully responsible for this asset disposal in the River Basin Authority.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we take a look at why residents seek government intervention over high cost of rent. Details and more after the break. Welcome back. This is the news update on Trust TV. A look at the top stories. NLC begins two-day warning strike over effects of subsidy removal. Troops kill 6 kidnappers, arrest gun runners in Plateau, Bauchi, Kaduna. In other news, Governor Umar Zulum of Borno State says his government will ensure the planting of 10 million trees by 2024 to end desertification and environmental problems. The governor disclosed this during the flag off of the 1.2 million trees planting exercise in Borno State. Performing the official flag off at the Borno State University Teaching Hospital with the theme Trees for Resettlement, the governor noted that the state lost 80% of trees during insurgency and domestic use, revealing that with peace restored in the state, illegal tree harvest won't go unchecked. He advocated the use of cooking gas and wood-efficient stoves to curb climate change effects. Residents of Asaba, the Delta State capital, have been lamenting the stress in securing residential houses as well as the high cost of rent due to the activities of middlemen, popularly called agents in the state, and the present economic hardship in the country. To this end, they have appealed for government regulation of house rents and agents' activities to ease the stress involved in searching for rental accommodations. Jonathan Awaye reports.
Shelter is one of the basic needs of life. In Asaba, Delta State capital, residents have lamented that rent is exorbitant and way out of reach of the poor, thus making it difficult to access its essential needs. Residents who spoke with Trust TV opined that the low-income earners and even the middle class struggle to secure decent apartments. They also expressed dismay that most of the housing estates built by government were for the rich, as no civil servant in the state could afford them, while blaming the estate agents for being responsible.
Too much. Like, I feel that government should look into it, because Asaba is a civil servant area. It's not, there's no big company or maybe oil company in the city or anything. It's just normal hustling. So sometimes the landlord, they will be looking for a responsible person in their house, but there's no responsible that can pay such amount of money. Like a civil servant that's earning around maybe 100,000 or 80,000 a month. How can that person afford a house of 1.5 million naira? So it's on the high side. So I think the government should look into it. So
these boys called Yahoo boys. These boys, they have the money. So somebody who is a civil servant, because Asaba is a civil servant town, somebody who's a civil servant may be pricing this particular thing for 250. A Yahoo boy will just come, say, Papa, just give me 800, I will pay, no problem. So with that now, who doesn't like good thing? So landlords aim these people, and with that, the cost of building is very, very high. The cost of rentage is very, very high in Asaba. And I think government needs to do something, maybe by regulating the price or anything, if it's possible.
We are calling on the government to regulate the cost of house rent in Asaba, so that it becomes affordable for the people.
Questions goes to the agents who parade themselves as agents, because landlord will put house for 200,000, they will make it 500,000, and they will say agency fee, caution fee, landlord agreements, this and this, all the packages they will just bring it together. It's here. This Asaba is a civil servant town.
For the increase in house rents, the tenants called on landlords to consider the economic hardship bedeviling the country. They urged the state government to intervene in the housing sector to address the rising cost of rents in the state capital.
51 cases of poliovirus variants were recorded in Nigeria from January to August this year, with Zamfara State having 21 cases out of these numbers because of the insecurity, making it difficult for health workers to access those troubled communities to administer the polio vaccination. It has raised concern to stakeholders. Now, our reporter in this special report seeks to know the efforts of relevant stakeholders to reach those difficult-to-reach communities and curb the poliovirus variants in Zamfara State.
Banditry in Zamfara State has not only crippled economic activities, but also impacted on healthcare service delivery negatively, as some rural communities are inaccessible to health workers to provide essential services like administering polio vaccination to children. This resulted in a resurgence of polio cases, with 21 cases of polio variants recorded in the state. This is responsible for the spread of the poliovirus variants in some neighboring states.
Some of your people that do this vaccination. Sometimes you find that they don't even make record of the vaccination. How many times are they supposed to do? What time have they done it? What time again they will do it and they will do it? Sometimes they cannot enter those villages. They used to go and dig a hole and put that vaccination. They will come back and say, yes, we vaccinated everybody.
Nura Madadun is a father of 10 children, and he does not see anything wrong in allowing his children to receive the polio vaccination.
My mom, she told me since 40 years, she take me and hospital to vaccinate me. So why now I have 2 wives and 10 children? And all my children, they vaccination. They do well, they have well, they go to school, and then the brain is very wide.
An official of Zamfara State Healthcare Board, Kabiru Danja, speaks on effort being made to ensure that every child is vaccinated against the poliovirus variant and no one should be left behind in the state.
The attitude of health personnel, definitely we have to change our attitude. We are appealing them, let them fear God. If government is not seeing you, the government that are paying you, are giving you salary for that work, and even incentive, are not seeing you. The Almighty God is seeing you. So you shouldn't say that I have gone to social settlement, which is not true. You are denying the right of those children who you refuse to go and school.
Both Sanusi Usman and Kabiru Danja urged personnel who have been saddled with the responsibility of administering the polio vaccination to strive and ensure that they give every child and maintain accurate record keeping of houses and numbers of children that received vaccination in each community.
And away from Nigeria, a group of 14 refugees and migrants and the body of a man have been found on the shore of Pharmakonisi, a tiny Greek island in the eastern Aegean Sea. Now, authorities said that the victim and survivors, 5 men, 6 women and 3 children, had apparently arrived on the remote island from the Turkish coast in a dinghy that sank. While it is not immediately clear how the man died, the survivors have been taken to the nearby Leros Island. Greece is a preferred European entry point for people from Africa and Asia seeking refuge from conflict and poverty. According to the United Nations, more than 15,000 people have reached Greece by sea and land so far this year. More than 1,800 people have been reported dead or missing along the central Mediterranean route in 2023, according to the International Organization for Migration. The route accounts for more than 75% of the victims in the entire Mediterranean over the past 10 years. And that wraps up the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for watching.